Hey, welcome into the Stinkin Truth Podcast alongside Mike Evans. I am Mark Schlereth. Thank you so much. Make sure you smash on that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. And Denver is the place to be right now because Sean Payton is the gift that just keeps giving. For the third year in a row, he's done it.
Yeah.
He's put himself out there. A couple years ago, it was calling Nathaniel Hackett the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL.
He might be onto something.
I think he was right about that.
Yes.
Last year, he came out when the over-under for wins for the Broncos was 5.5. He said, the next time I only win 6 games in a season will be the bleeping first time I only win 6 games in the season.
Right.
He was right about that. They won 10. And now he's come out and said, I've only felt like I had a Super Bowl team 6 times before in my coaching career. This year with the Broncos, I feel like I have a 7th team. He then doubled down and said that Bo Nix can be a top and will be a top 5 quarterback within the next 2 years. So a lot to unpack there.
Right.
But Sean Payton, the gift that keeps on giving. What about his Super Bowl claim?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of things. One, I think you look at Sean Payton, you look at the Denver Broncos right now. You and I have been to camp on every day that they've been in camp, and you can see the building blocks of what's going on here in Denver. And the building blocks are really good. Let's start with the defense. This defense has got the potential to be a number 1 defense. And I'm not talking about yards. I don't really give a shit about yards. I'm talking about points allowed, right? That's what a number 1 defense is. They don't allow points. So they have got all 3 levels with superstars. And obviously, you look at what they've just done with Zach Allen. They've awarded him. They'll probably get something done at some point with Nick Bonito. Jonathan Cooper, I think they did last year. So they've got a good edge rush. They've got guys in the middle that can flat out play like Zach Allen. Then they go out and they get Greenlaw in free agency. That's the guy they pursued. Now, he's a little banged up right now, and, he's the last couple, he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl, and then last year he played a handful of games. But so far in camp, before he kind of pulled up a little bit, I think it's a quad or something, he looked like he's a dynamic, he just stops people in their tracks. So he's a superstar in the making at the middle linebacker position. And then you look at their defensive secondary, and I talked to their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, I think Saturday. And you talked about the versatility, or I talked to him about the versatility that he has where he can play multiple coverages, right? He's not afraid to go to man. He's not afraid to have split field coverages. So you're playing man-to-man on one side of the field and cover 3 on the other side of the field. He's not afraid to change from a man-zone concept because he's got guys that can cover. I mean, he has got it locked in. And, Barron is the kid they drafted in the first round. They had him as a top kind of 10 pick. They got him at 20. Obviously, Pat Surtain's one of the best, if not the best corner in football. Now, all of a sudden, Riley Moss played really good. Like, they've got 3 or 4 guys. McMillan, who was a really good slot corner for them, they have got 4 guys now that can really cover. And then you get to the offensive side of the ball. And I think this is one of the really interesting things that I talk to their offensive line coach, Zach Strief, who played in this league for 10 years or so for the New Orleans Saints, for Sean Payton, and the way they've changed the running game, what they're trying to do in the running game. So Sean has always had a top-level run team, but last year they were garbage. Their backs were awful, right? They didn't track very well. Their offensive line made mistakes. One of the things they're trying to do right now is they are trying to basically major in wide zone. But one of the things they're really focused on, Mike, and I think this is really nuanced and really important, so listen up. If you're a coach or you're somebody that wants to understand the running game, just listen to this. Entry points. Where the back enters and how he enters, the pace with which he enters and the area with which he enters. So think about this, Mike. If the entry point is the inside hip of, let's call it the tight end, okay, in a wide zone. So you have to, and this is a coaching point that when I played, we coached it up all the time, and we railed on our running backs about entry points, all right? And
you guys were the best in the league at it.
Yes.
Running the football.
And it's something that you don't hear very often. So if it's the inside hip of the tight end, and the tight end and the tackle are sitting here like this, right? Well, when the ball's snapped in your wide zone, you're here. So the entry point doesn't change. It's not all of a sudden here. It's where it started here. So now it might be the inside hip of the tackle, but you have to put the entry point on the ground and you have to press the shit out of it. And if you don't press the shit out of it, if you're so worried about cutbacks and big gains, what happens is you as the running back, if you don't press the entry point, the linebacker just falls off and will make tackles and will not allow the offensive line to get to the second level and block the guy. So your entry and the way with which you enter the running game, like where you put the entry point and how you enter it, will actually block the second level. And we saw it all the time where the second level last year didn't get blocked very well because the backs are so busy trying to make the big run. Right? Not every meal is a buffet. Sometimes you got to take a fucking appetizer, right? Sometimes you got to eat a poo-poo platter. Sometimes you got to do that, right? And you got to get that 4 yards, and you got to press that, and you got that let that linebacker flow, let him run a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden, I come off the block, right? And he is right there in my lap. Or I let him flow further than he wants to. And by the time the running back cuts back, now I earhole his ass and knock him into oblivion. Because one of the things I always believed, if the thing actually breaks all the way, like it breaks, like I want to stay on the double team in a wide zone, for instance. So it's guard and tackle. And let's say I'm a bubble. Right? So let's say we're running strong and we got a 25 front. You don't know what that means, okay? But I'm going to tell you what it means. It means on the center, there's a nose guard, shaded strong, right? On the backside guard, there's a 3 technique. On the defensive end, there is a 5 technique, a defensive end. And the will linebacker's off, 25 front, okay? Mike, Sam is on the ball toward the tight end. So we want to press that inside hip. Let's say that Sam jumps inside, doesn't set the edge, and that running back takes it all the way to the edge. Like, for me, as a guard, I'm not trying to hit the defensive end and then jump the linebacker and cut him off. I give a shit. I'm going to be on a track, and I'm going to try to pummel that defensive end. And if that guy bubbles over the top, guess what we just got, even if he makes the tackle? 9 yards. Yep. We got a 9-yard gain. Why would I jump off that and let the tackle fall in and make a play? Like, why would I do that? So I'm going to let his ass run, and if I never touch him, that's fine. We got 9 yards. But if he stops because the running back cuts back, I smack him in the freaking ear hole, right? And I try to break his head. And so that's part of the running game. I know that was intense, right? I love it. But that's what they're trying to get done.
Listen, I know that entry points and everything like this, pardon the pun, is like porn for you.
Yes,
okay?
Yeah,
and evidence by you talking about it, you can go on all day, but we do have a limited amount of time, and there are some other things to talk about.
Well, you know what?
Other than entry points.
Seriously, if that didn't give you a football boner, nothing will. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, you could learn a lot. Understanding the running game and how to press, how a running back effectively blocks the second level, the entry safeties, and all that stuff. Woo! Ho, ho, ho! Anybody got a pack of cigarettes? Do we have a pack of cigarettes? I need to smoke right now.
I need a shower after this. So, all right. Eloquently brought up Sean's why he likes this team.
Yeah.
What about the Bo part of it? That's a ballsy statement to say. You think in 2 years that when you start talking about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, Bo Nix is going to comfortably fit in that. I'm not saying he can't eventually get there, but on that quick of a timetable?
I mean, what's gonna hold him back? Like, what's going to hold him back? Right? Like, I think one of the things you have to understand, like, we sit here in Denver and hear people talk about, and I get all these Kansas City people that are on me incessantly, like, oh, we've won, 9 straight division titles. And you're like, who cares? Eventually you guys are going to get old and you're going to suck. Like I told all the Kansas City fans, at least I never got my ass kicked in a Super Bowl. You guys got bent over, all right? We're going to just call you Ben Dover is your new name in Kansas City because you bend over.
This is not going to age well.
Anyhow, but you look at Bo Nix, the things that Sean loves about Bo Nix. Okay, one, he throws the ball on time.
Yep.
he's going to take a profit. And I just came back. I just landed, as a matter of fact, at the airport and flew back over here. I just left the seminar, the Fox seminar, a day early. Don't tell Fox. But I just left the Fox seminar, and one of the things that made and had a great conversation with Tom Brady. Apparently, the restraining order is off. I'm no longer. I can be within 500 feet of Tom now.
Yeah.
So
it was really uncomfortable there for a while.
It was uncomfortable, but we are tighter than mouse nuts.
Nice.
This is me and Tom right here.
Oh.
This is me over here. That was Tom and the executives. Me over here. But I did get to talk to Tom for a while. But one of the things that made Tom great was if you're throwing some flat curl combination or whatever, and the flat's the first guy open, the first read in the progression, and he's open. And this was from his coaches. This is from Bruce Arians. He'll throw that 100 times in a row. He'll take the 6-7 yards and move on. Yep. And so Bo throws the ball on time with accuracy, right? So Sean loves that about him. The other thing is his ability to climb the pocket. How many times did you see Sean Payton just literally pissed off when Russell Wilson would escape out of the back of the pocket and get caught, and fall down and take a sack? So Bo will climb the pocket. He doesn't take sacks, and he's got the ability to run and open up the RPO game and the zone read game, which he can read, the one of the players man on the line of scrimmage and decide, hey, man, if the guy pinches hard, I'm going to keep the ball and create yardage. If he doesn't, if he floats it or surfs it, man, I'm going to give the ball to the running back and we're going to make yards. So he's got all those abilities, and that's what Sean loves about him. The other thing is, from the neck up, the dude's a brilliant football guy. He knows his crap. So I don't think it's far-fetched. The only reason we're not talking about Bo Nix as having one of the great rookie seasons ever. Now, I understand that they won against a lot of bad teams, right? And they didn't win against a lot of great teams. But one of the reasons we're not talking about him is because Jaden Daniels was incredible. But Bo threw more touchdowns. Bo had 29 touchdowns. He threw more than Josh Allen. Yep. And I'm not comparing him to Josh Allen, but I think he's got the potential to climb into that top, 12-15 or 12-10.
Last bit about the Broncos here, then we'll move on to some other teams, other stories. Why did Sean do this? Why did Sean go out there publicly and make these bold predictions and paint a giant bullseye on the Broncos in general and Bo Nix in particular? Because what's the method to the madness? Because
he wants them to walk out like the cock of the walk, right? I mean, he wants them to come out and have those same expectations for themselves. And I talked to the owner of the Broncos. I talked to Sean Payton last week, and the owner was just like, Greg Penner was like, "Hey, listen, man. A year ago, we thought we might be good. We know we're good right now, and." Like the cleaning out of the locker room and getting rid of the guys they don't want, guys that weren't like 100% sold and bought in. I think the other thing that they're excited about is, there's a lot of people out there who should have gone out and got a veteran wide receiver. They don't give a rip. Like, they love the young guys they have. They love the development they have. They're big. They are strong. They are physical. That's what Sean Payton wants in a wide receiver, because when it comes to the edges, Sean Payton believes you got to win on the edges. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking about the edges, I'm talking about throwing back shoulder fades, right? Throwing a corner route to the sideline. In the back of the corner, throwing a fade, right? Offensive tackles. I need guys that are athletic and big on the edges. If we win the edges, we win in the NFL. Sean believes he has it. And I'm telling you what, he was unashamed of how good he thinks this team is when I was talking to him one-on-one. And man, it makes me excited about this.
So while the arrow's going up right now for Bo Nix, what's going on with Caleb Williams? His struggles are being talked about every day. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the video, the frustration, and it really seems to be a struggle right now for Caleb Williams. Is it as simple as he's just trying to adapt to Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson's trying to adapt to him? Or does it go deeper than that?
Oh, I think it goes deeper. And I told you, as I evaluated Caleb Williams, I evaluated that class a year ago. Yep. And I told you, I love Jaden Daniels, you know that, but I loved Bo Nix. And what did I tell you about Caleb Williams? I was nervous about Caleb Williams.
High bust. Possibility.
Because Caleb Williams is so gifted athletically that he plays off schedule more than he played on schedule at USC. And I hate that. Now, it's exciting, and a bunch of draftnik nerds that get excited about 65-yard bombs after scrambling around. You don't scramble around in the NFL, buy yourself all kinds of time, go from one side of the field to the other, and then launch one 65 yards and your guy catches it.
He's wide open doing it, too.
Right. You're picking, if you do that, you're picking turf out of your helmet. Those guys are bigger, faster, stronger. They don't play that game. So he wasn't on schedule. And what's my 70-30 rule? 70% of the time as an offense, we have to be on schedule. 30% of the time when things break down, go make a play. But don't hold on to the ball. Go make a play. And he just played that way, man. He played, I don't want to call it undisciplined, but it wasn't on schedule. It wasn't going through like 1, 2, 3 on a progression or, getting a split field read where this side is the middle of the field open beater, that side's the middle of the field closed beater, and you're reading right off the bat and you're getting to wherever you need to get, and then you're reading the, the concept over there, whatever that concept may be. And I just didn't see a lot. I saw a lot of improvisational football. And in the NFL, that gets you crushed. He took 68 sacks. Now, I'm not saying they were good up front, and I'm not saying they were well coached, but he took 68 sacks last year. And
how many of them are on him?
Yeah, what do I always tell you? Like, that's a quarterback-driven statistic in my mind more than anything else.
Half?
And, I bet you over half. Oof. I bet you if they went through a grade sheet, he'd have over half. Now, I haven't graded him. I haven't looked at them all, right? I don't know. But I'm just assuming that over half of them are his fault. And so he is coming in with a highly developed offensive coordinator that's his head coach that really understands this game. And you think about how much they're going to run the ball, how much pressure they're going to take off of him, how much play action is going to come off that run game. And he's still struggling with the basic fundamentals. And a lot of it is because why? He played his whole career in college off schedule. Yeah. So footwork and all the stuff that's important. You come in and obviously, you look at a guy like Trevor Lawrence, right, who's supposed to, set the NFL on fire and is going to be the next great quarterback and can't miss proposition, just like Caleb Williams, can't miss proposition, generational talent, blah, 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 all that bullshit. The first thing that happened when Liam Cohen came into Jacksonville to coach Trevor Lawrence, the very first day of OTAs, he said, wow, his footwork has got to be cleaned up. Because you throw the ball with your feet, you throw it on time to create accuracy and on-time throws. And when a quarterback is lazy or he plays off schedule all the time, you know what his feet don't time up with? The routes. And that's what's got to be fixed.
So let's move along here because the latest saga in the soap opera. Soap operas. You helped drive the guiding light into oblivion.
I did.
But after 70 years... the latest with Micah Parsons, okay? So now it's him saying that he's had enough. He wants to be traded. Jerry Jones telling Cowboy fans, don't lose any sleep. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. How do you see this thing? How do you see this thing ending, this saga?
Every time that Jerry Jones opens his mouth, he says something dumber than the time he opened it before. Like, he cannot control himself. My offensive line coach back in the day, Alex Gibbs, when you would make a mistake, he would just look at you and go, for a dumb guy, he always did this, for a smart guy, you sure are dumb shit, right? And for Jerry Jones, for a smart guy, Jerry, you sure are dumb shit. Like, why would you antagonize Micah Parsons? And here's the point. Like, here is a guy that you knew from day one was a superstar. His rookie year, man, he played D end on each side. He played middle linebacker. He blitzed. He was the spinner in nickel on the inside, being an extra rusher. I mean, this guy did it all, and he was phenomenal. And I'll never forget, I called a Dallas game back when Fox loved me. That things have changed since then. I don't know what happened. I don't know whose Cheerios I pissed in. But anyhow, they still love me.
They still love you.
They still love me. No, well, anyhow, I call a game, right? And they motion the back out of the backfield. The Giants motion the back out of the backfield, and there goes Micah Parsons with it. Clear indicator it's man-to-man coverage, right? Now they've got the man-to-man. Kenny Golladay is in the slot, right? So he's down in a cut split, okay? So all of a sudden the back lines up, stops, and then he comes slowly motioning in. Now here's Micah Parsons as a rookie.
Right.
And he's doing whatever he's doing. Like he's going, banjo, banjo, banjo. Meaning, hey, man, they're going to run a pick. Let's exchange this, right? So get off the ball instead of being impressed. You know you're getting they're going to try to pick you, right? Well, the corner's like, D. Completely locked in on Kenny Golladay. So he comes down. Here comes Micah Parsons with the back, keeping outside leverage. Back comes and just crushes the corner, right? Kenny Golladay on a wheel. Micah Parsons drops the running back, jumps the wheel, goes side for side, stride for stride, side for side with Kenny Golladay, stays in phase, meaning he's feeling him, he's feeling him. He's running stride for stride with him. As soon as Kenny Golladay goes up, man, you could feel him. Run here, turns back, bam, bats the ball. And it's down like in the red zone. And I was like, it's one of the great plays I've ever seen. It was just like, oh my God, this kid is legit. And he's trying to tell the corner what's coming. And like corner's not, he's not listening. And so I just thought from that point forward, I was like, man, this kid is special. And he could rush the passer the way he rushes the passer. So you knew. So what? Like as soon as he's eligible for a new deal, you know what you do? You rip up the contract, you pay that guy, you reward him. So every guy in the locker room knows, hey man, if you do it the right way, you're going to get rewarded, and ultimately you save yourself freaking money. Dak Prescott signed, a year ago? Mm-hmm. He's still the highest paid guy in the league. Like 3 or 4 other quarterbacks have come up and haven't usurped him because you waited to the very last second. I think you signed him right before the first game of the season. So it is like, it's insanity. And the fact that you would continue to go out there and take these verbal jabs, like, are you not smart enough to realize what you're doing? Like, wow, don't worry about it. That to me says, don't worry about it. Like, players always say this shit, but they know they're going to, like, instead, like, if I'm Micah Parsons, every time he opens his mouth, I'm a little bit more pissed. Now, do I think he's going to leave? Probably not.
Yeah.
And I said this the other day. I go, I like, trade him straight across for Terry McLaurin, corner the market on the best receiving core in football and still lose more games than you win. Like the Cowboys have gotten to the point, and I got to give credit to Jeff Legwold, who has covered the NFL for, 40 some odd years. The guy's amazing. And he said this, so I'll give him credit, which I don't like to do, but he is not like you. You're my intellectual property. He's not.
Yeah, but you mentioned his name already, so now...
this is only the second time I've mentioned his name. I could have said some guy I know.
Right, but now moving forward, you can just take it as your own.
Leggy and I are good. Leggy and I are buddies, and I have respect for Leggy.
What the hell?
Well, you signed a contract, so it's different.
Okay.
Like, we're still buddies, and I have respect for you.
Yes, but
I don't have to have this. I don't have to play by the same rules. But he said this.
I'm your content bitch.
Yeah, right. You're my content bitch. So he said this, and I'll take it as my own. We'll clip it so he doesn't get any credit. So make sure you clip this, but leave the Legwold stuff out. The Dallas Cowboys are simply the Jacksonville Jaguars with better marketing. That's what they are.
Wow.
That's what they are. They've got a star on their helmet. They're just marketed better.
Yeah.
But they're the same dysfunctional group. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won a divisional playoff game since 1995, Mike?
Yeah.
1995.
Yeah. 30 years of doing nothing, and yet they're still the most talked about team in the NFL.
It's unbelievable, and partly because their owner, for a smart guy, sure is dumb.
Well,
there's not one other, by the way, of all the other businesses he runs, Do you think there's any other business he would let complete ineptitude take over and run it without addressing it? Do you think in any of his oil businesses he would let some ass clown run it that way and not have serious consequences?
Well, then maybe he isn't dumb. Maybe this is just sly like a fox. I mean, maybe this is just Jerry is just he's playing chess while everyone's playing checkers. He knows he's going to pay Micah Parsons, and he's willing to let some of that bad blood seep out because he knows eventually he's going to show him the money.
Fine,
and then in the meantime, he's getting all this attention. He's getting all this free press.
100%. If
he ends up paying, as long as he ends up paying these guys, his feeling is everything else will be smoothed up.
Right. So what you're saying is that Jerry Jones is not one of the 10 or 11 owners that actually are 12 owners that actually wants to win a championship. He just wants to make headlines.
Yes.
Because this is, and I've said this a million times before, and I've said it for 30 years, as long as Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys, they will never win a championship. When you got jealous because Jimmy Johnson got all the credit, and you fired Jimmy Johnson, and obviously Switzer took over, one of the best programs in history and won a championship, but when you weren't getting your shine, like at this point, you're about the sizzle. You're not about the steak. You're not about winning. You're about creating headlines. And if that's what you're there for, and to market it and grow the franchise's profit margin, and then good for you. That's awesome. But you're not going to win a championship. You're not interested in winning championships in Dallas. You're interested in the sizzle.
We started with Sean Payton. Let's circle around and finish with Sean Payton because, again, one of the things he said in backing up, explaining why he said he believes the Broncos could be a Super Bowl contender this year, is he cited ownership. And he said, we've got good owners. We've got committed owners. We've got owners who will do what it takes to win. And there's only about 10 to 12 ownership groups, owners in the entire NFL who think that way.
100%.
And that's a number you've been tossing out for years.
So very first meeting I've ever was a part of it with Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Very first meeting of training camp, not the first mini camps or any of that stuff, but the very first training camp meeting that evening after the first day of practice. Joe Gibbs is in front of the room and says, and this time it was at this point in the league, it's 1989, there was 28 teams in the league. And he said, there are 10 teams in this league that have the ownership that is committed to winning a championship. And we happen to have in Jack Kent Cook one of those owners. Mm-hmm. You cannot win a championship in the NFL without the right ownership, without people that are willing. Like every now and again, it'll be an outlier that somebody will go or somebody will win. But I'm just telling you, if you don't have ownership, you will not consistently put a team out there that has the capability and the wherewithal to win a championship.
Or to put together one of those decade-long runs of just always being there.
Or in today's age, 6-7 years of great football, you just don't have that. And so I'm 100% with him. I'll say 12 teams in the National Football League have the ownership that is committed to actually winning. And you know what? The Cowboys are not one of those teams. The Cowboys do not have ownership that is committed to winning a championship. The Cowboys have ownership that is committed to having great marketing. They should be their new slogan. It was like back in the day, it was the Raiders was just win, baby. Just market, baby.
Yeah.
Just market, baby. That's the Dallas Cowboys. Just market, baby.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh, well, Steak, who are those 12 teams? Are they one of my teams?
All right.
Well,
stay tuned because we'll talk about it next time. That's called a tease, baby.
That's marketing.
Hey, listen, for everybody involved in the Stinkin' Truth podcast, remember, I'll be up in Alaska. I'm going to go see Poolside. My father turns 86 on August the 7th. I'm going up. He's going to work me like an indentured servant like he did when I was a kid.
How much dirt are you prepared to move over the next few days?
I will move as much dirt as he can haul up there. And I spent 11 months in New York before I got fired by Fox. I don't have like landscaping muscles anymore.
No, you're going to be sore.
Oh man, it's going to be bad. It is going to be bad. But I'm going to go celebrate my dad's birthday. Be back here next week, and here and then in New York too, because I'm going to roll up there and pack up my apartment because there's no reason to have an apartment in New York when you don't have a show in New York anymore. But we will start, you and I being we, I think maybe next week, the week after next, whatever.
Next
but
week,
we will start doing 3 a week of the Stinkin' Truth podcast.
But we got another one coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, another one coming up on
Alaska.
that, but I'll be from Alaska. And my wife told me in the neighborhood there's a brown bear hanging around.
Oh, if you could get the brown bear to show up,
just do
and make a cameo.
It'd be our first interview.
That would be awesome.
But you got to do it from a distance because he can kill you with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Hey, for everybody involved in this stupid show, we appreciate you. From Mike, I'm Mark, Ty behind the glass. Thank you so much. We'll be back with you guys later on in the week. Bare hands.